How much is the homestead property tax exemption? Are you curious about how much you can save on your property taxes with a homestead exemption? Let's break it down in a straightforward way. The amount of the homestead property tax exemption varies widely based on where you live. Each state, county, and local area has its own rules. Generally, this exemption reduces the taxable value of your primary residence, which means you pay less in property taxes. So, how does it work? A homestead exemption applies only to your main home, not to rental or investment properties. It reduces the assessed value of your home by subtracting a specific dollar amount or percentage before your property taxes are calculated. This means that the tax is based on a lower value, which ultimately lowers your tax bill. For example, some states offer a flat dollar exemption. You might see amounts like $8,000, $25,000, or even $49,100 deducted from your home's assessed value. In Kentucky, for instance, eligible homeowners aged 65 or older or those who are totally disabled can receive a homestead exemption of $49,100. If your home is assessed at $200,000, your taxable value would drop to $150,900 after applying the exemption. In Forsyth County, Georgia, the exemption is $8,000 deducted from 40% of the assessed value. Meanwhile, in Decatur, Georgia, a $40,000 exemption means you only pay taxes on the assessed value minus that amount. Some areas calculate the exemption as a percentage, such as 40% of the assessed value with a minimum dollar deduction, which can be beneficial for homeowners with higher valued homes. To qualify for a homestead exemption, you must occupy the property as your primary residence by January 1st of the tax year. There are often additional exemptions available for seniors, disabled individuals, veterans, or low-income homeowners. Keep in mind that you can only claim one homestead exemption per person or household, even if you own multiple properties. Applications for the exemption are typically submitted to local tax authorities or property valuation offices, often by a deadline like April 1st. Once your application is approved, the exemption usually renews automatically unless your ownership or residency status changes. The practical impact of a homestead exemption is significant. For example, if you have a $50,000 exemption on a home assessed at $200,000 with a 1% tax rate, your tax bill would drop from $2,000 to $1,500. Homestead exemptions serve as a form of tax relief, encouraging homeownership and helping taxpayers who might face high property tax burdens. In summary, the amount of the homestead property tax exemption can range from several $1,000s to tens of thousands, depending on local laws. It is applied as a deduction from the assessed value of your primary residence, ultimately reducing your property tax liability.